Wild, wild West Bengal. Bengal is in a race to beat its own record of political violence. On May 30th, 18-year-old Trilochan Mahato's body was found hanging from a tree with a chilling note next to it.
আমি চারটি ছেলেকে এত কষ্ট করে পড়াইছিলাম, আমার ছেলের কিছু নাই, তো তাইলে টিএমসি থাকে সঙ্গে থাকে কোনো লাভ নাই আছে তো, তো তাইলে আমরা বিজেপিই করি, আমরা বা বিজেপিই করব, কিন্তু আমার শাস্তি চাই বাবা, আমার শাস্তি চাই।
On 2nd June, 30-year-old Dulal Kumar's body was found hanging from an electric pole in Purulia.
আমার ছেলের মনে হচ্ছে আমি যে টিএমসির লোক মারিছে, মার্ডার করেছে।
The two deaths have outraged the BJP, but police claim the second death may be a suicide.
Over this thing, UD case was started and 5 doctors team conducted post-mortem. We have collected the report. In that report, a clear opinion has been given that this is anti-mortem in nature, suicidal hanging. So we have collected this report and the rest thing will follow.
On 4th of June, a TMC worker whose wife had recently won the panchayat elections was shot dead in Bagnan. Political killings have yet again escalated as TMC and BJP fight for supremacy. But can the state shirk from its responsibility of making Bengal safe? Is there a complete breakdown of law and order in West Bengal? Let's debate.
You're watching the Urban Debate in Mirror Now. Faye D'Souza, thank you for joining us. The kind of crime we are seeing happen in West Bengal right now makes us question not just the politics but the intention of the ruling party. Whoever these people may be and whatever their beliefs may be, no one has the right to take a life. But the most worrying part of all of this is the reaction of the West Bengal government. It is the job of the West Bengal government to maintain law and order. A job, obviously, that this government has happily abdicated in the name of its politics. The otherwise fairly outspoken Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, hasn't said a word, not one word, about these killings. She hasn't promised justice. She hasn't paid her respects to the dead and given her condolences to the families. She hasn't offered any sort of consolation. And she hasn't promised that the people who did this, irrespective of which political party they belong to, hers or otherwise, will be punished. Where does that leave the people of Bengal? Governments come and go, regimes change one after the other, but is violence always going to be part of Bengal? Where is the change and the difference that the TMC promised to the people of Bengal? These are the questions that we're asking. And joining us on the show today, Ranjan Bhattacharya is a political analyst who backs the TMC. Vikram Singh is a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Shikha Mukherjee is a senior journalist joining us from Calcutta. We'll also have Babul Supriyo, Minister of State for Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises of the BJP, join us. Fahd Halim with the CPIM joins us right now, and so does Priyanka Tebriwal, advocate and someone who's currently filing or planning to file a writ petition for those who have lost their lives. I welcome all of you to this conversation. I'm going to start with Mr. Fahd Halim. Mr. Halim, thank you for joining us. What's happening in the state of West Bengal? Has the law and order system completely broken down, and has the TMC government abdicated its job or its position right now to maintain law and order?
Well, it's very clear that there has been overlap between the party, there's the Trinamool Congress, the civil administration and the police administration here in West Bengal. And the pictures that we have seen, the video footages that was available where the various media houses during the run-up to the panchayat elections, where the nomination centers, which were actually the offices of the BDOs, the HDOs and the DM offices, we found that the Trinamool Congress gundas with firearms were openly taken over these offices, and we saw the police administration with their firearms and the gundas with their firearms all together. One could not differentiate between these two groups of people. So that is actually characteristic of what is happening in West Bengal at this point of time. And the degree of violence needs to be understood in the context that 34% of the seats in the panchayat elections went uncontested because of the absolute fear that the police administration, the Trinamool Gundas and the civil administration have been able to instill in the people of West Bengal. Given that wherever the opposition has been able to win a few seats, the Trinamool organization, the civil administration, everybody has come down very, very heavily on these pockets of people all over in West Bengal, where a certain degree of resistance was shown. We've seen that, Comrade Debudas, you mentioned in your opening what you call a video clip, Comrade Debudas and Usha Rani Das, they were burnt alive in their homes. Their dead body was not given over to their son. We had to go to the court and get the court to intervene. And then after the post-mortem, the dead body was available for the last rites. So that is the degree to which the civil administration is actually perpetrating the entire psyche of violence. That even after killing the people, the civil administration and the Trinamool Congress is not satisfied. They are not even allowing the children of the people to perform the last rites, and the dead body is also not being made available to them. So this is the entire scenario where we are in West Bengal at this point of time.
Yes. let me bring in Shikha Mukherjee. Shikha is a senior journalist joining us out of Kolkata right now. Shikha Mukherjee, thank you so much for joining us. We've had a statement from Derek O'Brien of the TMC. Although the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has said nothing, Derek O'Brien has said that troublemaking is coming from across the border from Jharkhand. How much, faith would you place in this comment, given the fact that like Father Alim was pointing out, it seems like the local administration is hand in glove with whoever is committing these murders?
Let me put it to you like this, that this allegation of trouble being imported across the border has been made now by Derek O'Brien, but it was also made by other ministers of the Trinamool Congress as well as the BJP. And this is the mystery of these imported miscreants, some from Jharkhand, some allegedly from across the international border as well. So, but the fact of the matter remains that these are mercenaries. One has to accept that in this situation, in India, at this point in time, these are guns on hire, or these are troublemakers on hire. If they are being brought, then somebody is paying them. And who is this somebody? The BJP alleges that it's the Trinamool. The Trinamool alleges it's the BJP. So it would seem that these are the two people with the resources to make such allegations against each other. It is total lawlessness.
All right, 1 second. I'm just going to, I have to stop you there, Shikha Mukherjee, because there's a problem with your audio and we'll just get that fixed. Shikha's in our Kolkata studio. Ranjan Bhattacharya, why is it that the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has said nothing about these killings? So either she believes this is okay and this is normal in the state of West Bengal, and she has no intention to do anything to fix the problem.
Well, Chief Minister is speaking or not speaking, it's her personal issue. I cannot talk on her behalf. But yeah, I do believe in any kind of violation in the name of election or in any form is to be condemned by any and every political leaders. And the blame game of the political parties, irrespective of the fact which political party is the ruling party or in opposition, I believe that all political parties should come together and take a decision that they will stop this political violation. These may lead to something much bigger and much worse situation than what it is happening. We have experienced in Bengal during left front regime, and that doesn't mean that it has to continue, it has to stop. This is point one. Point two is that I too have strong belief on the administration and administrative people and police. And there is a set norm in each and every state all over the country that any incident of such nature happens, one has to go through the normal procedure. And if there is no procedure is followed, and if one has to go by only as a document which is being shown on TV or otherwise, is no document on the basis of which the
I don't understand.
administration can go
Ranjan
ahead for
Bhattacharya,
necessary action.
when you say you believe in the
Please.
local administration
Please.
and the police, tell me why. Why would you believe in a local administration and a police that has failed repeatedly to maintain the peace? I mean, look at how the panchayat elections were conducted in Bengal. It was a mess. Look at the killings that have happened after that. Look at the people who have marched down the roads brandishing swords and guns and pistols. Is this normal? Is this a local administration that you are proud of, a police that you are proud of?
Well, I'm not saying whether I'm proud of it or I'm criticizing it. I have very simple logic. And the logic is that if I am a student and if I don't study and I don't appear for exam and I claim that I am the best student of my class or of school, it makes no sense. If you want to rectify the system, you will have to first follow the system, and wherever it is wrong, we should try together to rectify that.
So,
I do believe that political parties, apart from their leadership and their point of view and their action and reaction, there is another issue which is involved in it. A large section of the population is looking up to the system, and that system has to create a situation where the faith and confidence of the people of the state will be there.
No, I'm sorry. I completely disagree with Ranjan Bhattacharya. I completely disagree with you, because what you're saying effectively is that we should all come together, shake hands and decide that we're going to live in peace. That's effectively like saying the only way to stop murders and rapes is if we all hold hands with murderers and rapists and get them to promise that they will never do it. That's not how law and order works. Law and order works when the police does its job in prevention. You can't say that people are dying because somebody is killing them. People are dying because the police aren't able to keep them safe, which is why we have Vikram Singh on this panel. Mr. Singh, do you buy any of this? In my eyes, it seems like the TMC government in Bengal has failed completely, and the police in Bengal has failed completely.
Absolutely correct, Faye. I wish I could share 1% of the confidence that Mr. Ranjan Bhattacharya has on his police and the local administration. With the local goons carrying guns and overwhelming the offices of the returning officers, murders happening at like mayhem, and we have Derek O'Brien, the quiz master of repute, again speaking in riddles that we were overwhelmed by outlaws from across the border from Jharkhand. You are in the government there, it was your job to ensure peaceful polls. And the simile of a student not writing the examinations and then claiming to be the best student, sir, we have a similar example in our mythology that Ekalav's thumb was chopped off vis-a-vis the Pandavas, and he was made to eat the dust because he was just not allowed to compete fairly. The level play field was just not available to the competitors, in the sense that if 34 candidates returned unopposed, that speaks volumes about where democracy is in the wonderful state of West Bengal. Obviously, the right to franchise and the civil liberties of the people of West Bengal have taken a toss. The police seem to be partisan and looking the other way. I would like to know from Mr. Ranjan Bhattacharya the number of preventive arrests made, the number of contraband weapons, illegal weapons, explosives recovered, and what action you propose to take, because your credibility in any case is at an all-time low. You would be well advised to entrust these murders or unnatural deaths to the CBI, because the local police does not have it in them to come out truthfully, because it is an open secret. With Mamta Didi not speaking about or not a word of sympathy for the deceased, you know in which direction the wind is blowing. The police are very intelligent an organization, and they know what the political masters expect. With Mamta Didi's silence, they know what to write, when to write, how to write, and what to submit in the court of law. So having said that, I would rather that all such sensitive cases be sent to the CBI for investigation, because the local police, I am sure, do not inspire much confidence, and the credibility is at an all-time low.
All right, Babul Supriyo, Minister of State for Heavy Industries, joins us right now, representing the BJP on this panel. Mr. Supriyo, thank you for joining us. Good evening to you. The question that we're asking today is the breakdown completely of law and order in the state of Bengal. The more worrying thing is that the Chief Minister has not said a word. She has not acknowledged the killing, she has not promised justice, and she has not offered her condolences to the families who've lost loved ones. Is West Bengal falling apart?
Well, she's definitely speaking where where the places where should not be her priorities. She's speaking when where she sees some utopian possibility of her getting closer to the Prime Minister's chair. She's speaking when she wants to, congratulate Kumaraswamy or someone else. But as we have always heard about, Emperor Nero, this is the way she's behaving in Kolkata, and I am not representing BJP here because neither of the footages that you're showing on your channel are documentaries shot by BJP. They are real pictures which have been shot by your media colleagues all over Kolkata, risking their lives. And I say so because they have been beaten up, hospitalized, their cameras broken, their rolls erased, and all of that has happened in West Bengal. And the sad part is that at this point of time, you don't see any of this award Wapsi brigade. You do not see Rahul Gandhi. You do not see Sitaram Yechuri. No one, Akhilesh Yadav, no one condemning the killing of common people in West Bengal. And one side is the political violence which happened for 34 years in absolute brutality under the CPIM regime. What Mamata Banerjee promised and what the reason why she was brought into power and Poribarton, the so-called Poribarton, was made to happen in Bengal because she promised that this regime, terror regime of CPIM, is going to end. Neither did it end. Rather, I would say that in 6 years, Mamata Banerjee and her TMC goons have broken all sad records that that have been put on record by the CPIM. And you have people like Derek O'Brien, who otherwise has a respected position outside of politics, quoting them on their tweets. They will bring in the records from CPIM. What I need to tell is that from 1977 to 2017, the total number of uncontested seats in Panchayat elections was around 23,000. In 2018 alone, 34% of the seats have gone uncontested, and that amounts to about 21,000. So a 40-year record has been broken in a single year. Now, why do that happen? You have Abhishek Banerjee saying that on the 1st of June I'm going to go to Jhargram and I'm going to make that opposition free. Let me tell you, Jhargram is a place where BJP has done really well. What is the signal that you're sending there? That before I come, clean it up, and that is exactly what the goons are doing to gain some prominence in the party. What does another minister, Subhendu Adhikari, does, whose father is also a respected MP for so many years, so was he. He says that any panchayat which is going to be able to do a opposition-free election, any TMC district unit which can do a opposition-free election is going to be given 5 crore. I will give them 5 crores from my side. So what is the signal that you're saying? That make it opposition-free, and that's exactly what the goons did. And one side is the violence by the Trinamool Congress. The other side is
Ranjan Bhattacharya will respond. Ranjan Bhattacharya, please go ahead.
In sync action. One second. Let me finish.
You've made your point. You've made your point. I gave you enough time to speak. Babul,
one second. Last point.
To you, please.
Say last point. No, one second. Last point. The cohesive action of the police and the TMC goons. The police have done enough to ensure that TMC remains the ruling party and can go ahead with their wrong.
The other thing that we have to bring up is that the most recent killing that we've had now is of a TMC worker. The TMC is now accusing the BJP of that killing. Ranjan Bhattacharya wanted to respond. Ranjan, go ahead, please.
Well, Babul Supriyo is a very honorable minister of Union Cabinet. As well, he is also from a different world, not essentially from politics. I like to tell very briefly, 2 points. One is the BJP president of West Bengal state unit in many occasions has spoken, which is shown in all TV clippings, that he has used the kind of language which no political leader should use, challenging opposition parties, ruling parties, and so on and so forth, which actually provokes the peaceful situation to take a bad turn. Second point I like to tell is with regard to Babul Supriyo's complaint about Abhishek Banerjee's saying that opposition moved or free from opposition parties in some of the districts. The issue is that, if the leadership of today gives a call that opposition moved or Congress moved or any political party moved is acceptable in center. And I'm not trying to justify that, but I'm just trying to give a counterpoint that if they can explain and justify why is that given that Congress moved India, why not a strong opposition and a strong ruling party equally survive and sustain in Indian politics? That should be the slogan. Why not there is a slogan for development and more development, not to in the name of the development on only from false promises is going no delivery.
There's a problem here. There's a problem here. When we get into the politics of this sort of thing, it's a slippery slope. And the truth is, I'm not interested. One second. Ranjan Bhattacharya, we're not interested in the politics. I just want to focus on the fact that there is a law and order issue in Bengal. Whatever the politics may be, it doesn't matter. If there are people dying every day, if there are murders taking place on a regular basis, then something is horribly wrong. Shikha Mukherjee, what is your response to what Babul Supriyo is bringing up? The fact that within the CPIM, the BJP and the TMC, everybody's claiming to have lost workers. Everybody's claiming to be victims at this point.
But this kind of competitive claims of how many workers lost, how many lives lost, how many people injured, has become part of the political narrative of polarizing voters on the basis of A, violence, and B, loyalties of some kind. This is actually very alarming, because if you look at what is happening in West Bengal in the past 1 week, 2 BJP workers dead, 1 Trinamool worker dead. There seems to be an effort to make this kind of violence occur in 2 districts, one where the BJP has done reasonably well, and the second one where the Trinamool has swept. So this is a way of polarizing voters. It is also a way of signaling that allegiance has to move in one direction or the other. I am absolutely disturbed by the fact that there is no concern for the fact that people are living a life of insecurity, the police is inactive, and the government is signaling in its own way by keeping quiet at the level of the chief minister, by lower functionaries of the government saying that things will happen as they happen, justice will be done. There is a kind of implicit signaling which is going on through these political messages that the political objectives will control the law and order situation in West Bengal. Rule of law is suspended. It is now the rule of politics which will prevail.
Well, here's the problem that it all boils down to. The fact that politicians seem to have taken over. How are people of Bengal expected to continue? Like Shikha brought up quite rightly, how are people of Bengal expected to continue living in this state? Where is the justice going to come from? Vikram Singh, people are going to turn around today and ask their government, the Mamata Banerjee government, if they have failed and if perhaps it's time for them to vacate that seat.
Faye, you have a very pertinent point. The people of West Bengal have had a roller coaster ride for a very long time. And the election-related violence serves twin purpose. One, it eliminates political opponents. And two, it sends a message loud and clear that political opposition will not be acceptable. And to be silent in a moment of such crisis, consent is of two types, implied and express. And when you keep silent on such sensitive matters, your consent is implied. By implication, you are consenting to the gory murders that are happening. Indeed, it's an uphill drive, and I would rather that Mr. Supriyo would move to the Supreme Court, ensures that sensitive investigations are given to the CBI, more paramilitary, central paramilitary forces are given to West Bengal, and what the left had done, you sow a wind and you reap a whirlwind. Those that play with the sword shall perish with the sword. What they had done about the electoral laws of the panchayat elections, now it is, in fact, the tables have been turned, and it is serving as setback for everybody, because the State Election Commission has very little role to play. It is the government that has a major role to play in panchayat elections. Panchayat elections, in any case, are the bounty and the stepping stone to larger victories in the electoral world. Every panchayat, make no mistake about it, gets no fewer than 2.5 crores from the Manrega account. Therefore, by analogy, a panchayat is rich in money, in muscle, and therefore electoral power. And therefore, the beeline and the scramble to win the panchayat elections. I wish there would be sense prevailing and a sense of fair play, but the level play field is just not visible in West Bengal.
Babul Supriyo, Derek O'Brien has now put out a tweet that says that the trouble is actually coming from Jharkhand, which is a BJP-ruled state. What is your response to that?
I just think that Derek O'Brien is writing some mindless, some mindless posts he's making on Twitter and Facebook, and he's being lambasted right, left, and right, center for it. If he thinks really, if he has material proof of people coming in from Jharkhand to do this, why does it? Why law and order is a strict state subject, and the center has been very tolerant till now. Though the state is moving towards a direction where serious consideration will be made about whether 356 can be or should be imposed on West Bengal for the sake of the common people. Derek, on the other day, he put in a post blaming the same Jharkhand border thing, blaming BJP, blaming Bajrang Dal, blaming Maoists, CPIM. What he very conveniently did was rule out or did not mention TMC cadres.
So
why would you exonerate your own party cadres when the entire media, all the records show that it is a TMC who's causing all the mayhem? There is no acknowledgement from the government. When there is no acknowledgement, then there is a law and order problem. Where do you find the remedy?
As a Minister of State with the Government of India, you just made a statement saying the centre has been quiet up until now, but we're considering whether 356 should be imposed. You're talking about President's rule. Now, are you telling me that the centre is considering imposing President's rule in Bengal?
No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that though the state is particularly moving towards a if it is moving towards a direction where constitutionally 356 could be the right remedy, then the centre, which has been very tolerant till today, if situations do not improve, then we parliamentarians, including the government, we definitely have the option of bringing forth 356 to bring safety to the citizens of a state, to the residents of a state who think that going out from their house to vote is a jhamela, is a risk that they would take to your lives, and that in the biggest democracy of the country.
Let me get responses on this. Let me get responses on this. Father Babul Supriyo says President's rule in Bengal.
Well, it's very clear that the Bharatiya Janata Party minister is ill-informed, because I would like to correct his statement. The largest number of people who have been victims of the present spate of political violence, that is 31 deaths, the maximum are from my party, the Communist Party of India, Marxist. Secondly, all our leaders have condemned it.
So how does it change the 356?
He has not condemned the deaths. I think so. It's unfortunate, and he is ill-informed. The second is, coming back to the question that you raised, one has to understand that the Jugalbandi between the Trinamool Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party is played out because the Bharatiya Janata Party made a fervent appeal to the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, that the Superintendent of Purulia district needs to be removed, and Mamata Banerjee responded by accepting that demand. So there is a give and take between the Trinamool Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party, and it is exemplified with the exchange of the dead bodies also. We know that Sheikh Dildar, until 12:30, Babul Supriyo was screaming his lungs out that Sheikh Dildar was a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and after by evening we found that Sheikh Dildar and his family were with the Trinamool Congress, and then the Bharatiya Janata Party as of today does not claim that Sheikh Dildar was a member of the BJP anymore. So this give and take both at the central level and also at the ground level is going on between the Trinamool Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party here in West Bengal. But a lot of comment has been made about the left and the left regime.
Yes.
One has to understand that during the left front rule, 80 municipalities were ruled by the opposition. Today, you have less than 10 municipalities which have opposition, what you call forces in power. So the qualitative change and the degree of violence has to be understood in unison. One has to understand.
No,
that
I refuse.
there have been
I'm
seven
sorry,
waves of violence.
Fahad Ali,
The
I
first
beg your
wave of
pardon, I'm
violence-
sorry, but I do not want to understand the degree of violence in any state. I believe that violence of this kind is a breakdown of law and order is purely the responsibility of the state government. It is a breakdown of the responsibility of the state government. Mr. Bhattacharya, Ranjan Bhattacharya, respond to Babul Supriyo saying parliamentarians will consider president's rule in Bengal.
Well, that's a very popular demand from long time against Congress government and against left front government, and these are all the basic slogan of the political parties all through in Bengal. If you go back to the Bengal history for past 45 years, my point is very simple. Babul Supriyo is a very simple, non-political, lucky minister in union government. And I wish best of luck. But the fact remains.
But sir, why
that
lucky?
Bengal
I have won.
has its own history.
I am the only one to win from there. Sir,
no,
why
I'm
lucky?
not disputing. You know, there are many. There are many who have won, but not lucky as much
Why
as
lucky?
you are.
We all have work
in
hard
first
way.
election. I'm not. Babulji, I'm not opposing you. I'm praising your competence and capabilities of getting in an Indian cabinet is not an easy matter. Anyway. I'm not going into a personal issue, but the fact remains that what I am very shocked to hear that again the same slogan is being given by BJP leadership. I just like to tell and remind that all political parties to start with, I have said, and I stick to that, irrespective of the fact whether it is ruling or opposition, has got equal amount of responsibility, and I do believe the state and central leadership will have that responsibility, and they will go by that. When I don't know which political party is to be blamed and which political party is trying to take the credit of it. At the end of the day, the people at large are really confused, and they are the sufferers. And whatever party recognition they may have, at the end of the day, the family members are suffering. Nobody looks back to them. I just like to say that the good sense should prevail of all political party leadership of Bengal, and they come together and find out a solution or a way.
See, I understand what you're saying, Ranjan Bhattacharya, but is your point that until all the political parties come together and speak together, that there will be no stopping of the violence? Can't the state government simply do its job?
It's Madam D'Souza, it's like this, that if you are a student of a school or a college, if you want to get a good marks, you will have to study. You will have to prove your worth.
No. If you're a student of a good school or college and you insist on beating up other students, you need to get expelled. That's what needs to happen. The police needs to come in and do its job. These analogies are weak, and you're going easy on the TMC. Either you want to believe that the TMC is sent from God and they shouldn't have to do their job. But I don't understand why you're going this easy. Priyanka Tebriwal joins us as well.
I tell.
Go on. Ranjan Bhattacharya, finish your point, please.
I just wanted to appeal because of the fact that I do accept and I do believe that a serious situation is coming up. And I do believe that, the political blame game is not going to help in the long run. My appeal is because of that.
Okay,
Everybody tries to score their own,
Right, I just want to bring in Priyanka Tebriwal, who's going to file a writ petition for those who've lost their lives.
Mamata Banerjee doing something about it?
Why isn't that you
Yeah,
are
hi,
not
a very good
pleading to the
evening.
Prime
Sorry for
Minister
joining
to,
late.
reach out to the Chief Minister. I do believe as the Honourable Minister of the state, you have every right to appeal to the Prime Minister and
Why
to
should
open a
we?
dialogue with the Chief
No, but
Minister.
why, Ranjanda? Why would we bring in politics here? I'm talking about the common residents, Mr. Fawad Saab.
I'm not saying politics.
Golden rule that
I'm talking
do not
about a
frame
Prime
your
Minister
answers
to talk a
while
Chief Minister
the
about the
other
state.
person is speaking. No, Dada. I am talking about opposition. I'm talking about residents of Bengal. Please rewind and hear what I've said. I'm not bringing in politics here. Why do you want us to go to the Chief Minister?
Disputing
as
that
the Chief Minister of the state, who's also the Home Minister, who has law and order in her hands, why isn't she instructing her party cadres to behave properly? These are not documentaries shot by the opposition or BJP. These are true facts shot by the media. So you as the government, you'll have to make the first move. You can't talk about all these other things and just exonerating TMC and the government.
Right, one second, gentlemen, Priyanka Tebriwal hasn't
the reality of the
spoken,
situation.
and I want to
Anyways,
ask her about the
Priyanka,
writ petition
yeah.
that she's filing right now. Ms. Tebriwal, go ahead. What is the writ petition you're filing? And will you also file it on behalf of those who are from other political parties and not just yours?
Well, see, at the moment, we are concentrating on Trilochan Mahato and Dulal Kumar, those who have been murdered by the TMC workers there at Purulia. And this is the retribution theory which TMC is being following. They are not being able to digest that somebody else can win except them, with the kind of pressure they are trying to build up everywhere in West Bengal, and especially in Purulia. Out of 29 seats, 27, I think BJP has won 27, including the Gram Panchayat, Zilla Panchayat. So, but see, this is the result, and the family is quite upset, and then they want to come ahead with taking up the legal measures, whatever is there in front of them. So that is the scenario at the moment. We are not yet confirmed where we'll be filing this petition, but of course the work is in progress. In a day's time, I'll be able to speak clearly on this.
No, tell me something. I understand, Priyanka Tebriwal, you're filing a writ petition for justice for the people who have died. What about the TMC worker who was shot dead yesterday?
Right.
Why isn't he included in your writ petition?
See, I'll tell you, the TMC worker who was shot yesterday, the thing is, see, specifically here I'm speaking as an advocate, but one more thing what I like to speak is, this is what is happening. People who are dying, ultimately after they are dead, you name them as TMC or BJP. This is what happened to out of this Trilochan Mahato and Dulal Kumar. There was a statement which came from the Chief Minister when she said that Dulal Kumar was not a BJP worker. He was TMC. So now I don't want to make this separation of saying that he was a TMC or he was a BJP.
Okay,
this is what is happening in Bengal.
Making your own
whenever
argument
anybody
here.
is dying
Hang
and
on,
whenever anybody is being
argument.
murdered,
there are
ultimately
various people
TMC
who've been
comes up
murdered.
saying
Why are
that
you
no, they were
only
not
including
BJP,
two
they were
in your writ
TMC.
petition? Is this not political? Why are you only including two in your writ petition if three have
that's
died?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. My work is in progress, and you will get to know within 48 hours that although I'm filing the petition on behalf of two people, but I will be including the others who have been victims. I will be including them as well.
Fawad Halim, go ahead.
No, it's very clear that one has to understand the language that the Trinamool and the Bharatiya Janata Party are speaking in. If I take Ranjan Bhattacharya's analogy that if this is a school where students are peering, then the language is violence and the subjects that are being taught are bombs, arms and other things. So this is the unfortunate reality of Bengal at this point of time. Every death is condemnable. We do not accept as the Marxist Communist Party here in Bengal that any death should have any supporter of any political party anywhere. But the language that the BJP and the Trinamool Congress are speaking on, we've had the BJP state president say that he is oiling bamboos to ensure that they're going to beat up Trinamool cadres. He's ready to put them 6 feet below the ground. That's the language of the state BJP president. That is being countered by the Trinamool leadership from their official positions. We got an MP and a would-be Chief Minister of Bengal saying that he's going to cut off the arms and gouge out the eyes. This is the very language, and I quote for you. So the Trinamool and the BJP is actually competing at the ground level for the people who are actually carrying the arms and the bombs. That's the crucial reality here in West Bengal at this point of time. They do not want to talk about policy. They do not want to talk about government delivering anything either at the central level or at the state level. And both the BJP and Trinamool are very, very comfortable with this discourse where governance and policy does not become the central issues on what all the talking points.
Right,
and
Babu Supriyo will respond to that. Babu Supriyo, very quickly, I have about 30 seconds left.
Situation we are in.
Babu Supriyo, respond to that. Is it a race to the bottom between the BJP and the TMC to see which one is worse?
It is absolutely nauseating to hear such kind of analogy from Fawad Saab. He knows that the residents of Bengal, as I always said, as I told you, I am from BJP, but I am also a minister in the government. To me, law and order is of supreme importance. And as you asked whether the writ petitions are going to be filed for the residents of Bengal who have lost their lives, it is absolutely utopian and very callous of Fawad Saab to go ahead and talk about these political allegations which are far away from the truth. We can have this debate on a separate forum, but to talk about this, we should not go beyond law and order and the fact that the residents of Bengal are suffering because of this political rivalry. I do not subscribe to any personal violent comment made by anybody, be it Trinamool Congress, be it BJP, be it CPIM. But please do not confuse. If you cannot convince, please do not confuse. It is people are going to hate politicians, and in the modern age, you are not going to have a learned person or a good person coming into politics. Remember, the Constitution gives the politicians the right to choose and to frame laws for the country in which the bureaucrats follow. So if you do not have good people in politics, I don't know where this country is going. So please
well,
talk
that's a question I promise you, Babu Supriyo. The citizens of this country are asking every day, where is this country going? And we have to wrap up this discussion
here.
But
politicians. Yes.
We have to wrap up this discussion here, but it boils down simply to one thing.
Don't do that.
Bengal is a complete and utter mess right now, and the buck stops solely at the door of the state government. Because once you've been voted into power, once you've decided that you will take oath as Chief Minister, Ms. Mamata Banerjee, you and your colleagues are now responsible for what goes on in the state of Bengal. Pointing fingers and blaming others no longer works. This is your responsibility. The colossal mess that took place during the Panchayat elections, your responsibility. The murders that have happened after that, your responsibility. As the Chief Minister and the Home Minister, you are responsible for every single life inside of Bengal. And no excuses will bring a dead family member back. There are no excuses for the fact that you have in fact failed. The Chief Minister of Bengal needs to come out and do two things. One, acknowledge the mess that has been created. Two, promise justice to those who have lost their lives and the families who are grieving. And finally, get your act together. Get your police together and provide the citizens of Bengal what you promised when you came in. Change, a different kind of life, a better life. It seems like nothing has changed in Bengal. Bengal has a history of violence during elections, and you've let that continue. You've let it continue, in fact, in your favor. Your party right now are functioning like bullies on the ground, and you've done nothing to stop them, making you no better than anyone else you fought and did hartals against when you were not in your seat. You are just like everybody else, unless you can prove otherwise. To the Chief Minister of Bengal, you need to step up right now and do a better job at what is going on in your state. Thanks for watching.